Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tom Darwood. I shall be campaigning as an independent candidate in Southend, West and Leigh, and also around the country in a sponsored roadshow. My ambition is to become a future surrogate Prime Minister, and I believe events throughout this general election will point in my direction as the person who can, for a limited period, help to govern this country. Now I have some amazing manifestos, ladies and gentlemen, to bring people together. So how do I intend to get to number 10? This, ladies and gentlemen, is my battle plan to get to number 10. To get to number 10, the Prime Minister needs a vision that's not only going to speak to Britain, but also to Europe and to the United States of America. Because historically, we are a unity, one entity made up of three different entities. The graphic is the key to this vision. And this is a graphic of the colonial era, which is forged by the magnitude of art and science. That is what progressed us all from the medieval period. I also have a Reformation II Passion play, which is a theatrical setting of my tuition course. And I hope also to inspire a Queen Elizabeth II Royal Arboretum as the venue for this training ground to build two nations. So my lead manifesto, ladies and gentlemen, is an enormous task, but I believe I've got it to the point of the small print. And the small print is in the tuition course, where we will train young people with the guidance of another institution I hope to found, the Senior Service Corps. That is using the wisdom, the expertise, the patience and the feeling of a past era that I want to extrapolate the best of that colonial era, which my tuition course is all about. So we're getting from the big bold banner headlines to the small print in this tuition course. Now here is an image, ladies and gentlemen, of this tuition course. It is simply about the culture that was created during the 17th century, starting from the 17th century. These are important pictures, especially this one, still life. Why paint still life? Because it tells us exactly how things truly are. This wonderful, magnificent painting by Vermeer, and so many Dutch artists produce magnificent still life. At the bottom we have Shakespeare to represent literature, Rembrandt to represent painting, and Bach to represent music. Three of the most glorious inventions of the human mind, unsurpassed, never before even thought about, but they gave us a civilization which is beyond this picture of Stonehenge, which lacked understanding and know-how. Now these are my last graphics, ladies and gentlemen. And I said at the beginning, events will happen in this general election which would point a huge hand towards me as a future surrogate Prime Minister. By surrogate I mean my life emulates the biblical Joseph who wore a multicolour coat, and this scarf represents that multicolour coat, because my jacket was stolen in my last campaign by some, never mind. Now what the biblical Joseph did, understand Pharaoh's two nightmares, that he had two dreams, and Joseph, under divine guidance from God, said that Pharaoh is going to expect 7 years of magnificent harvest, immediately followed by 7 years of famine. Joseph had to deal with climate change, and he built barns all over Egypt to store the grain during the 7 years of abundance. When the 7 years of famine came, he fed all the people of Egypt and the surrounding nations also. Now this is so important, ladies and gentlemen, because if I'm a true 21st century Joseph, I must also speak to our surrounding nations of Europe and of the United States of America, which is why that graphic of the kitchen drawer is so important, because it shows the difference. This is why I want the Queen Elizabeth Arboretum, Royal Arboretum, to be sited near Stonehenge, so that people can see the difference between the two cultures. Colonialism had a magnificent abundance of culture. Stonehenge had nothing to progress that society. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope to tour this country with my booklets and leaflets and expand on what I've just conveyed to you now. Thank you.